Hey, what up? It's Boyd, and in this video I'm gonna follow up on the video that I did last week, which is really about how to quit any behavior, how to shift any pattern that you are doing continuously and you want to really replace that with a more positive pattern. In the last video I really explained how to make that shift instantly by aligning the change and associating it with your highest values in life, making that association very real so that you don't need any discipline or willpower to really make the change. And you can make it instantly. Now, what's one thing that really still comes into play when you make a change is conditioning. And that's what I want to get into right now in this video. This video is really about how to actually really ingrain a new behavior, a new trait that you want to embody, or even a new belief or identity, and ingrain it so that it becomes your automatic default. We all have a default, and that default can be anything. It can be like a default emotional state, and default just means what's the norm, okay? What do you always go back to? And that can be like an amount of money that you make, or the default can be a certain emotional state. So obviously I work with a lot of people to help them really become a more confident version of themselves, right? And what you see is there's kind of a process that I go through with people to make this happen permanently, okay? To really actually, seriously, shift them from being really insecure, low self-esteem, etc. to being the B.I.G.
Cause I see some ladies tonight that should be having my baby.
High self-esteem, confidence, taking action, able to connect with anyone, anywhere, anytime, able to make more money, close more deals, whatever, right? It's really foundational to get more success. So what you often see is there's a process, okay? There's like a 1, 2, 3 to it. So you really first have to figure out, what your current level of identity and confidence, etc. is, and where the challenges are for you. I often use like the psychology pyramid, if you've heard me talk about that before. Otherwise, you can watch this video right here that my editor will link. But, that's step one. And then step two is really fleshing out, what you need to be for core confidence. And what do I mean with that? Building core confidence is really more about building a foundation so that core confidence is a natural result of that foundation. And the foundation is simply aligning your values, your beliefs, and your qualities that you think you have with the value scorecard that you represent in your own mind. Now, I'll make a different video on this completely. However, that is step two. It's not the point of the video. And then step three is actually to condition and subconsciously embed that new identity so that it is your default, okay? Because this is where some people kind of get in the mix with changing, because there's a lot of talk about, change. Like a lot of people in general, like more normal people, more normal general psychologists, etc. They always talk about change can take years, it may never happen, all this bullshit, right? And change can actually happen really quickly. Like what I practically see with my clients, because I don't just read a bunch of shit from a book and reiterate it, and put it online. I just do this from my own experience with myself and with my clients, right? In addition to various trainings I've done and whatnot. But what I really have seen, what practically is the case, is that you usually make a change and then you have fundamentally made the change in a session or in like one hypnosis if it's really strong, right? You really can make that shift instantly. But then from there, you've tapped into that new identity. It's there, right? So you put in the seed and the plant has grown, but it's not fully flourished yet, in the sense that, it's not become, sometimes it can be, don't get me wrong. This is not a limiting belief that I'm trying to put onto you, but more of a practical know-how, how this really goes. And then, once you have that, then you just still have to train it to be the default. So you have to condition it in. Now, if you really have some time to really condition it in the session itself, yeah, for sure, you can have an instant change. But a lot of coaches talk about instant change, but what does instant really mean? Because instant could mean a second, or instant could mean 3 hours, right? It just really depends. So, yeah, you can produce instant change, but you do have to condition it in. So that's what I want to talk about in this video. And how do you condition it in? First of all, what does that really mean? Conditioning something in subconsciously. It means that you go from having to consciously do something to being it, right? It just being automatic. And that's really the place you want to be. It's kind of like driving a car, right? In the beginning, you have to consciously really produce the result. And then obviously you get, this unconscious competence where you don't have to think about it, you just do it, right? You can just drive a car, it's fine. So this is the place you want to get to with your transformations, with your work on yourself, with your self-development. So for example, with the confident thing, you want to have it be automatic. You want to just have it be who you are, not something you're trying to do consciously, because someone who tries or is consciously busy with this whole confidence thing, that really means that you're not there yet, right? So that's really not the place you want to be in ultimately. So how do you get there? It's really about conditioning the neurological pathways in your mind to go down that road automatically. So to be very clear, if you've ever walked through the forest, you've likely walked past like this deer path, a path that deer cross basically, and that first starts out like just no path at all, and then deers walk by it, and every day that path gets entrenched deeper and deeper and deeper, and it gets easier to walk down, right? And that's really how you gotta look at it. So you have a path here that's to your old habit, right? And that's very ingrained, that's very deep, that's very easy to walk down. It's basically a highway. And then to your new habit, you basically have a dirt road, because like you haven't entrenched that habit, right? You haven't entrenched that quality. You haven't gone down that path enough. And your mind will always go down the easiest path. So if you have a highway towards, being anxious and a dirt road towards being super confident and expressive and proactive, yeah, then you're gonna go down that road. So what you need to do is you need to link a lot of pain to this, and you need to really interrupt this pattern, right? So what does that mean? I'll give you another analogy. If you have like a CD, and you play that CD, you get the same song every time. Let's say the song is the old, destructive pattern. You get the same thing every time. If you take the CD out, you scratch it a couple times, and one more time, and you put it back, that old song is not gonna play, and it's never gonna be able to play again, right? Because you just eliminated that pattern. So that's what you wanna do with that limiting pattern. You interrupt that, and then you wanna condition new pattern in, okay? And that process of conditioning, you can speed it up massively, especially with NLP and some processes in there which allow you to really condition that further and further and further. And then obviously you can also live from that internal position, in your external actions, and that will reinforce that, and it might take a little bit of conscious action to speed up the process, but it can also be done internally. However, here's what you just need to understand. When you make a change, you need to condition the new behavior in. And this is where I see, some people go wrong, and I've seen it in the past in my group programs where, people have the belief system that, oh, I just need to do this one thing and then it's automatically completely fixed. No, that's not how it works, right? You need to do this, make this shift and create this new identity and live from there, etc. But it needs to become your default. Then it's like in there, right? And that's where you need to get to. So here's the problem that people encounter. They're like, oh, I made the change now, I'm perfect now, right? Because it needs to happen all in one day. And then, they go into the real world, and then they experience a little bit of anxiety, and they're, oh, fuck, I'm not changed. Oh, it didn't fucking work. And then they lower their own self-esteem again, because they're like, oh, I can't do it. I got a little bit of that feeling, oh shit. You know what I'm saying? No, that's not what it is. Or I did a little bit of that shitty behavior, oh, I'm fucked, right? No, that's not what it is. What it is that you haven't conditioned it enough. Okay, so you just need to do a little bit more of conditioning. It's never like you failed to make a change. It's just like you haven't conditioned it enough yet. So don't put yourself down on that, okay? And then, you really gotta realize that you can make any change. You basically, listen, any goal you have, whether it's to be more confident, whether it's to create a better social life, whether it's to make more money, whether it's to keep more money, like the big G. It's just about conditioning that belief system enough, right? It's making the initial shift and then conditioning it, and you're gonna change. You can condition anything. And that's really what I wanna leave you with. Create the person you need to be in order to achieve your goals. Create it. Because you gotta understand your identity is not static. It's fluid. You can change it at any point in time and as much as you like, and literally be anyone you fucking want. That's the beauty about being a fucking man. That's the beauty about, well, you can do it as a woman as well, but you gotta build your own value, right? You gotta just get there yourself. And you can become anyone you want, you can any way you want, you can dress any way, you can be any way, you can think any way, and you can change. The only thing that'll hold you back is your limiting beliefs, your limiting environment, and these types of things. And to really make that change, you can work with a coach to change permanently, have someone hold you accountable, have someone help you condition it in, and truly change. So many people don't realize that you really can transform completely. Like if you look at a picture, an old picture of me, I'll have my editor pop it out here. Literally, look at that guy, and then look at me now, or look at these pictures of me now, or what I'm doing, whatever, right? And I'm so far from where I want to be still, but it just shows you can change. So condition that shit in. Don't give up if you just didn't make the change completely in a day. Just condition it further and further until it becomes automatic, becomes the default, and you'll be rocking and fucking rolling. And if you want my personal help with that, you can actually go ahead and go to the link in the description, which says boydhook.com/confidence. You can apply on that page. There's another video actually of like about 15 minutes, which will show you those 1, 2, 3 steps on how to become truly confident and exceed your life socially, financially, etc. So you can check out the video, apply if you kind of fit, and if it makes or resonates, and maybe we'll be speaking soon. So go crush it again, change yourself, and let's go.